Hey guys, Soja here, welcome back to another video. So coming in with a bit of a health update really. Yeah. So I'll put the last video up. Go see that if you haven't. That's quite a big update. That involved my hip surgeon basically telling me he's not going to replace my hip now, which was fun. So yeah, I kind of got over that. I actually saw my rheumatologist at the start of this week, who, when she read that on the letter, she kind of looked me up and down. I didn't say a word, just carried on reading, so I don't know whether she agrees, whether she disagrees, I have no idea. So that was that. Yeah, there's been a couple of weeks where I've not been here. We went to Ireland for 10 days, which was beautiful. Being on a plane was fucking terrifying, I'll be honest with you, but it was beautiful and I'm glad I went. I needed the time to relax and think about things. Yeah, so that was fun. However, just before we left, about probably a week, I started to get this pain. And I was like, oh, I've got a filling or something, haven't I? And then it got really bad. And so I was trying to look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, my tooth is broken. What is going on? Now, as a bit of a backstory, my teeth are interesting. So my jaw is too small to hold my adult teeth. So I've had 5 adult teeth removed when I was a teenager because my jaw just physically isn't big enough. And I've always had issues with my wisdom teeth on both sides. And what will happen is the wisdom tooth will come through on this side and it will push all my teeth round, which means my front 2 teeth don't ever align. So basically, whichever wisdom tooth comes through will push the teeth all the way round so that that tooth can come out. Problem is, there's not enough room for it to come out all the way. And then the other one will start to do the same, and so it will push my jaw back. And so I have this sort of basic rotation in my jaw where my teeth are at any particular time. So I've been to a dentist several times before because it was getting really painful, and they said, look, your top wisdom teeth, not a problem, we'll just whip those out. To get to your bottom ones, we're going to have to break your jaw because your jaw is too small. And I'm like, okay. And she said, so we'll put you to sleep, but break your jaw. The only problem is you might wake up and it will be completely numb, and there may be some dribbling. And I'm thinking, I don't want a numb face. I don't want to have to dribble for the rest of my life. I said, I'll come back if and when it gets really bad. So I assumed what's happened is my wisdom tooth has come out at the same time and they've cracked a tooth. So I try and get a dentist appointment, nothing. Managed to go on my other half's dental insurance, which was really good. So we found some dentists that would work with them. However, the first appointment is the end of September, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't wait till then. This pain was getting worse and worse and worse. Like my jaw, up here, everywhere was absolute agony. And so I'm like, oh, well, I'll give up on the specific dentist for that. I'm just going to go to any dentist. It means I can't claim back as much money, but I can still claim back whatever. So I phoned every single dentist in my local area. None of them are taking new patients. Absolutely none of them. So I give up and I phone 111 and I'm like in tears at this point because I'm in so much pain. Now I take painkillers for everyday use and they weren't touching it, which says a lot because it's nerve pain, it's a different type of pain. So I phoned the doctors and they were like, we're not giving you any more painkillers. Great. So I phoned 111 and they're like, oh, we'll get you an emergency appointment today. So they did. At one of the dentists that I'd phoned already that morning who told me no, but anyway, I got the appointment. So I go there and the guy's like, oh, it's your wisdom tooth that's broken. And what's happened is it's pushed your tooth out of the way. So you know how your jaw is normally like a U shape? Your jaw is normally that shape, right? You get the U. What's happened is where the wisdom tooth has come through, it's bent that tooth in. So I have the U, there, but I have this tooth sticking in. You probably can't even see what I'm doing. Let's do it here. So that's my jaw, right, the U shape, and then the wisdom tooth has pushed that in. So now I have that kind of shape. I'll put a diagram on the screen, it's much easier to see. And where there's not enough room, it's the wisdom tooth that is broken. So, right, okay. I said, I'm in absolute agony, what can you do? He's like, well, let me take an x-ray. And he took an x-ray and he's like, look, I can't help you. Even with the smallest x-ray that I have, I cannot fit it in your jaw. Your jaw is too small. I'm like, great. And then he said, I'll refer you to a specialist because it's the wisdom tooth that's broken. It's going to be a difficult extraction. It has to be a specialist. And I'm like, okay, great. What about the pain that I'm in now? Yeah, there's nothing I can do for you. So I have been, the whole time I was in Ireland, since I've been back, since the... Let me just look at the calendar. Since the... It was after the winter. So since the 25th of July, today is the 25th of August. It's been 4 weeks that I've been in this much pain. 4 weeks. A month, a solid month. 25th of July to 25th of August. I can't eat on this side of my mouth. I can barely brush this side of my mouth. It hurts so much. And no one will give me any painkillers. And I just have to wait for this specialist to come through. Like, I'm in pain normally, but this is absolute agony. It feels like someone is squeezing my head. Yeah, so it's been 4 weeks and I'm in absolute agony. And I'm really struggling. No word from any consultant, so I don't know what's going on. Tried calling 111 and they said, well, you've seen the emergency, you just have to wait now. And I'm like, I'm in absolute agony and there's nothing anyone can do. And it's soul crushing. But apart from that, I had a really nice time in Ireland. Did some walking, slightly freaking out because it's 2 weeks, 2 months till my wedding. Yeah, that's my life at the moment. Extra pain, stress. And I go back to work in 2 weeks, which I'm really nervous about because they expect me to do 2 full days immediately and I'm only supposed to be doing 1 day a week. And they want me to do the whole full day of teaching when I was doing 2 hours before we broke up in the summer. To say I'm kind of nervous is an understatement. Anywho, that's my update. I hope you're all doing well. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and I'll see you in the next one. Loopy love.